the Democrats that hate the Republicans. A vagina is not a clown car. This movie is actually really good.
Please don't hit me. Please don't hit me. You have no idea what it's like working through something wild.
I'm losing my mind right now. Hey everyone, Matthew Robinson back again. I'm here to give you my review, as promised, of The Watchmen. Now, I saw The Watchmen opening night. I know this review is a little late, but a lot of stuff's been going on that's really kept me busy. But here's what I think about, basically, about The Watchmen movie. Now, I read the comic, and I was a big fan of the comic, and actually, for those of you who don't know about the novel, Watchmen was, the graphic novel, Watchmen was ranked in Time Magazine's top 100 greatest novels of the past, it was the century or something like that. And that's a huge accomplishment. I believe it was the only graphic novel to make the list. So Watchmen is a very, very deep and engrossing graphic novel that you can read multiple times and still find something different and new and come to a new realization every time you read it. It's a very deep comic created by the genius Alan Moore. Now the movie, first of all, let me just say the movie was, I liked the movie, so let's just get that out of the way. But I think in particular, the acting was good from Haley, who played Rorschach, Patrick Wilson, who played Night Owl, Billy Crudup, who played Dr. Manhattan. It's kind of strange. I actually didn't really like his performance that much. Michaela Macon Ackerman, something like that, something other. She played a Silk Spectre, Miss Jupiter, whatever you want to call her, but she played Silk Spectre, and she was decent. She wasn't like Maggie Gyllenhaal, where she brought down the movie in some senses, but she wasn't as great as she could have been. I felt she was miscast for this role. But yeah, the acting was really solid. No one does it with that little wink at the camera. They played it straight through, and they really tried to do the comic justice. Some people were saying there's too much slow-mo in this movie. Not really. I never really noticed too much slow-mo. I thought it was very well stylized action fight scenes. The thing is, once you've read the comic and you see the movie, the comic is obviously a lot deeper. It's one of those things where some things that how it translates when you read something and when you see it on screen, it's a lot different. For instance, Dr. Manhattan being nude. Now I'm glad they kept him being nude. I know some guys were somehow, it seemed like a lot of guys were actually kind of intimidated by the fake 3D penis of Dr. Manhattan. Guys, yeah, he's not real. You don't have to feel like you're threatened, like your girlfriend's gonna run off with Dr. Manhattan. Sorry guys, don't trip over that. Yeah, no, really, there are a lot of people who were very upset about that. They're very disturbed. They thought his penis was too overly large or something. That's a common complaint I hear from people, from men, of course. The thing is, the movie, Zack Snyder, first of all, should not have called himself a visionary. He's made one movie next to Watchmen, and that's 300, which was based off a brilliant graphic novel created by Frank Miller, which Frank Miller based off real, compelling events. The real story of the 300 Spartans is compelling, you know? He's not a visionary. He hasn't created his own story. You're not. I'm sorry, Zack Snyder. You have talent, but you are not a visionary for taking somebody else's work and just bringing it alive. That's not visionary. That's just good at adapting stories. And you kind of miss some things here in Watchmen. I think some scenes with Dr. Manhattan really felt dumbed down compared to the comic. Now, granted, when Dr. Manhattan speaks, when you read something, it can be translated and be a lot deeper than it is when you speak it. You know, that makes sense. Also, one thing that really bothered me, the random, very graphic sex scene in the middle of the movie. Look, you know, yeah, seeing naked women is great and everything, whatever. But really, like I said in my review of Notorious, seeing graphic sex scenes in movies is just, it's porn. It's just porn placed in a movie. I don't care if anyone says it's artistic. You don't need to show all that to have, we get the point. Just fade away, cut it, do different camera angles so we don't really see it. There's no need to have that in a movie. It really takes away from it. I thought some of the violence in it was a little cartoonish, but I was able to get over that. It was pretty good. Some people, some comic book fans are upset with the slight change in the ending. I actually think that it made sense to do that for the movie based on how the movie was made. For those of you who read the comic, they cut out the island part, which I think is a good idea, because even I, when reading the graphic novel, you know, the island part is just a little too much, especially for a movie that was already 2.5 hours long. It's fine. I think, you know, with the ending in the comic, just wouldn't have translated that well, and it came off cheesy on screen. Alan Moore did not want his name attached to this movie, and I can understand why, even though it's a great movie. Oh, also one more great actor, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who played the comedian, terrific with his acting portrayal. This movie was good, but it's not anywhere near Spider-Man 1 or 2, The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, even X-Men 2. There are quite a few comic book movies, A History of Violence, comic book movies adapted to movies that were a lot better than Watchmen. But it's a decent film. I didn't walk out of the theater thinking I wasted my money. So in the end, I'm going to have to give this movie an 82 out of 100. You know, hey, it's not perfect. It's got a lot of its flaws. It could have been better. The woman who plays Silk Spectre, Macon, was only average, maybe even in some scenes below average. The guy who played Dr. Manhattan didn't really cut it for me that much. Billy Crudup, I know he's a good actor. A lot of these people who did bad, don't make me think that when I'm saying that Macon Ackerman is a bad actress. I'm just saying in this movie they were miscast. It didn't really work. But other than that, it's a good film. It's a good film. 82 out of 100. One final note I should leave you with. When I read the comic, not to spoil anything, so you guys can stop watching now, rate, comment, subscribe. Remember, it's all in the hair right now. This is a spoiler, but my favorite character when reading the comic for the first way through was Night Owl. But by the end of the comic, it became Rorschach, because Rorschach was the only character who didn't compromise. Never compromise, even in the face of Armageddon. And so, I think I really liked Rorschach, besides him being a xenophobe, a little bit racist, kind of homophobic. But he really was a true character, and he felt authentic. So that's all I have to say about Watchmen. Sorry it took me so long to get this movie up. Rate, comment, subscribe. Until next time, remember, it's all in the hair.